I'm excited. Khamzat Chimaev speaks out. He made his official statement. Now that the fight is over, he had a big fight with Sean Strickland. They talked a whole lot. They had big beef going in there. Khamzat kicked him in the nuts before the fight. They made up after. Khamzat told Dana he wants to move up right after the fight. And then on social media, they're talking about potentially a rematch. And Khamzat has made a statement. We're going to get into all that. Plus, Netflix is having an event. It should have been the biggest event in martial arts history. I believe it still will get the most viewers, but they probably will not sell out the arena. And they will not sell out the arena for one reason and one reason only. It's because Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano have decided, rather than promote the fight and give people a reason to watch, they have decided that they want to talk about how much they like each other. They've also said that they are comfortable with the outcome either way. So they're going to go in there, they're going to fight, and whatever happens, they're at peace with it. So why should we watch? So anyways, they're ruining the fight promotion, and they're going to lose Netflix millions and millions of dollars. Also, they could crush the viewership record. They'll probably beat it or come close, but because they're not selling the fight, which I'm not saying they got to manufacture beef, but they could actually say that they're going to go in there and punch each other in the face and knock each other out and armbar each other. That would be honest. They're not saying that. They're it got real bad. We're going to get into that. Plus, Mike Perry is the only one trying to actually promote the fight. Nate Diaz is not trying to promote the fight. They interviewed him. They interviewed Mike Perry. We're going to get into all of that. Tonight, we have a big show. We're going to get into the weeds of the fight business, how to promote. My uncle was Hulk Hogan. I come from a WWE background. I understand pro wrestling, guys. And I'm not saying that MMA should turn into pro wrestling, but there are some key points of a story that make it relevant for someone to watch. There's a million things people can watch, even on Netflix. They have all kinds of options. Why do we want to watch two 40-year-old women fight if the two 40-year-old women are literally saying, hey, we're at peace either way? Well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm at peace not watching then, all right? Anyways, we'll get into details about that. I am your host for the evening. My name is King David MMA. I'm a professional MMA champion, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I coach at Extreme Couture, and because we're talking about promotion of events that make people want to watch, my uncle was also Hulk Hogan, so I have a little bit of inside information on how to make things very entertaining and how to build up conflict so that people get engaged. Real quick, guys. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. I got Arpon the Don in the chat saying, let's go. We got Hamza in the chat. He just arrived in LA. Netflix is not promoting the card. He was on Netflix's IG page, no post. So he's not even watching the main fight. He's not watching how many of the main fights? You're not watching all three main events? Because I'm still curious about Nate and Mike Perry. At least Mike Perry's trying to promote the fight. But shout out to you guys for hopping on the stream while we just started. You guys are real ones. And to my real ones out there, we got the real one shirts, guys. We got real one shirts. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now, and then I'm going to make it sticky and pin it. Also, guys, make sure you check out Fight Circus, home of the freak show fights. Follow Fight Circus on Instagram for the craziest fights. Oh, the craziest fights I've ever seen. Yeah, the craziest fights I've ever seen or I've ever been a part of. It got weird. I pro wrestled someone who identified as a midget. That was pretty wild. So let me fix this real quick, guys. Okay, go here, view the channel. I'm going to drop it in the chat, and then we're going to get started right now. All right, let me drop this in the chat. I think it's better when I do it, because when I do it, it comes out as hyperlinked for some reason. And yeah, so is that working for you guys? Pin message. All right, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Khamzat Chimaev speaks out about his loss to Sean Strickland, speaks out about the beef that they had, the over-the-topness, the insults, the getting at each other, the kicking Strickland in the balls before the fight. And he speaks out about religion. Here's his exact quote. He's talking about Strickland. Essentially, Strickland said a lot of unnecessary things. People are asking why I shook his hand and why I put the belt on him after the match. Now he's going to get into his culture. In our culture, we don't have the habit of continuing to talk and fight after a defeat. If we're going to fight, we fight in the cage, and we did the best we could. What God has decreed is no longer in our control. That man bowed his head and apologized. If a person apologizes, I can forgive him. I'm not a tyrant who would refuse to forgive. But you know who is a tyrant? Is Ariel Helwani, because he's refusing to drop the beef. He wants these two to stay mad at each other. Khamzat is literally quoting his religion and going like, hey, man, it was God's will. I'm at peace with it. Strickland apologized. I accepted his apology. He beat me fair and square. Those two are cool with it. So why is Ariel upset still, guys? Dude, he's just, man, listen. some of the memes online are very, very interesting. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the memes about when a Christian and Muslim start getting along, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that is crazy. I don't think that is what Ariel is doing. But everybody calls me a little bit like naive in that regard, like a little bit borderline too positive. And I'm like, what? No, dude, he's just stirring the pot because he wants views on his YouTube channel, right? So he doesn't want the beef to die. He wants to say negative things about Strickland. Therefore, Strickland will say things back to him. And then here we are talking about Ariel. This is what Ariel was trying to do. I'm not into the rabbit hole of it all, guys. So some of you guys in the chat last time popped off with the beverage boxes and all that. And I see how you guys could get there. I'm just saying, for me personally, man, I don't think Ariel's doing that, guys. Do you? Do you really think that that's what Ariel's on? Is that really a thing? People think that Ariel is upset because a Christian and a Muslim are getting along? That's interesting. That is very interesting, and talks about the tone of the country, which is also why I think it's a good thing that Khamzat and Strickland squashed the beef. I don't want to see the rematch. The beef's over. I want to see both of them move on. I'd like to see Khamzat Chimaev move up in weight and fight Paulo Costa. That's who I want to see him fight. Chael Sonnen saying he wants to see him fight Bo Nickel. I don't believe, and while that would be technically an interesting matchup, because I don't think either one of them could take each other down, and then they would be forced to strike. I mean, that is kind of interesting because Bo seems to be very confident in his striking, but he got kneed in the body by De Ritter. So maybe you'd have to lean towards Khamzat in the striking, and then we're going to see what some people would say a low-level kickboxing match in 4-ounce gloves. Well, guess what? Sign me up. I'm here for it. I would like either one of those matches. And yeah, so that fight, I don't think that they should have tried to pretend. I think the beef was real. I think they really didn't like each other leading up to the fight. I think they fought. They got it all out of their system. They left it all in the cage. And then they genuinely after saw the better parts of each other because they were able to take their blinders off and see each other as like another human being striving for the same goal that they're striving for. Another human being that's putting a lot of work. Another human being that doesn't quit on themselves. Another human being. So they saw the humanity in each other and they respect each other for the warriors that they are. Now, in the heat of the moment, there's certain ways to say what you were doing. Oh yeah, we were trying to spice the fight up or whatever, right? Like saying, oh, we were just selling the fight. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think they genuinely disliked each other, and I think they genuinely respect each other now. So anyway, that's my take on the Strickland and Khamzat fight. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in the chat. If you agree with me, let me know in the chat. We're gonna move on real quick. So I was super excited about the MVP Netflix card. I'm a big Jake Paul believer. I think Jake Paul is an innovator. I believe Jake Paul is a disruptor. I believe Jake Paul is the type of guy who is going to succeed in what he does because he has the meta skill of applying his mind to things and then working hard and believing in himself. That being said, he put together all the pieces. Netflix, MVP, most valuable promotions. He got two of the biggest names in the sport, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. And while they're a little bit out of their prime fighting arc, right? They're still huge names, especially internationally. They're like movie stars, WWE stars. People know them around the globe, and they both fight. So, what better way to get eyeballs on the sport? What better way to promote women's MMA and show that Jake is an ally to women and an ally to women's sports and join himself with that thought form, that energetic consciousness that is moving through the universe right now, that's got momentum, attach himself to that momentum. What better way than to put Ronda and Gina on? Well, they forgot to tell these chicks that people want to see them fight. So these two don't want to get like we want I shouldn't say we want to see them fight. We want to see them fight. If we're going to watch a fight, we want to watch it. Does that make sense? Like, we don't want to just watch some nonsense. Like, okay, so you guys don't care about the outcome. Why should we? And these two chicks are literally saying they are cool either way, win or loss. Well, if you're cool either way, why would I tune in to see you win or lose? You're cool either way. You guys are sitting here complimenting. They were literally in the interviews today talking about, like, we're trying to stop being so friendly. Like, we want to be friends with each other. And it's just like before the fight, it's like really hard to not be like friends with each other. Like, Ronda's going, I wanted to call Gina today and talk about our outfits so that we can wear matching outfits. I'm trying not to reach out to her all the time. Like, dude, I was excited to see Ronda Rousey have one more go round and exit stage left as a winner. I was a supporter of what Ronda was doing when she was in the UFC. She got her shit cracked in her last two fights. It would be cool to see someone who's done so much for the sport. And I've cornered women's MMA. I've got women MMA students. I cornered and coached someone from amateur to the PFL who was female. So Ronda is a huge piece of that story. And so is Gina. These two women paved the way. And the way Ronda went out, as dislikable to the public as she can be, I was hoping she would come back, there would be hype, she would show why she was the star she was, we would get this build up, and people would be like, dang, man, I don't know if Ronda could beat Kayla, but in terms of fight promotion and building the fight, Ronda still got it. And then Ronda goes out there, real mean, throws Gina on her head, arm bars her, gets on the mic, says some crazy stuff, calls out the UFC, talks fighter pay, blah, 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 blah. She's changing the industry. She's a trailblazer. All this. That's what I had envisioned when I heard about this fight. I was like, oh, this is great. Ronda knows exactly what to do. The problem is Ronda went to the WWE, and the WWE believes there's different ways to tell stories. You don't have to tell the same story over and over again. So it seems to me, as a subject matter expert, that Ronda believes that because she is giving a different story, that it's a good story. That because she is promoting the fight in a different way, it's going to make people want to watch. And just because it's different doesn't mean it's good. Those two things. No, it can be different as long as it's good. It can't just be different, therefore it's good. So she's made the mistake of promoting this in a way that nobody's going to want to watch. Dude, if I could tell you to go watch their pre-fight interviews that they did today, dude, you guys would turn it off. They're really bad. They're really bad. It's like two chicks trying to show how happy they are and how well adjusted they are. And I'm into that, like good vibes only, all that, right? Like, okay, I go meditate, all that. But like, I don't have to sit here and try and pretend I'm happy when I'm not happy. Like, they're going to get into a fist fight, guys. Somebody's going to go to the hospital. What are we doing here? Somebody thinks they still got it. Somebody's wrong. And then to top it all off, if the two chicks being besties and trying to do each other's hair at the sleepover wasn't enough, we got Nate out here saying that he's not going to disrespect Mike Perry, which yeah, man, you don't have to disrespect the dude, but say you're going to beat him up, say you're going to win, say you're going to put hands on him, you're going to break him with pressure, you're going to push the pace, say that. Nate didn't even say that. You know what I mean? Nate's cracking jokes with the... Nate might have too much money at this point. He seems real happy. He's over here cracking jokes with the reporters and everything. I'm like, what happened to Nate that walks out of press conferences? What happened to all that? What happened to water bottle throwing Nate? Throwing water bottles at Connor. Now we got like happy-go-lucky, well-adjusted Nate who wants to be respectful of Mike Perry. Mike Perry's at least trying. In his interview today, he said he wants to hit Nate and hurt Nate. He said he wants to hurt Nate, and Nate's going to be mad at him for saying this. Mike Perry also said that he believes Nate Diaz cannot withstand Mike Perry's shots. So at least he's trying. He's like, yo, man, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to tell the people what I plan to do. I'm going to KO this guy. He can't stand my power. What's wrong with saying that? It's a fight. You guys are really going to hit each other. You can talk about hitting each other. That's not disrespectful. That's not off limits. That's not insulting somebody's religion. That's not talking about their mom or their wife or their kids. You could just go, hey, bro, I'm going to hit you. And I don't think you're going to hit me. And I'm going to KO you. And if you do hit me, I'm going to walk through it. Because I believe in myself and I'm better than you. They could say that. I cannot believe that no one is taking them by the side, shaking them and said, listen, man, we put up millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're probably in this piece for, what, 30, 40, 50 million bucks? Dude, you guys better start some fucking shit talking here. Let's get the beef cooking so people tune in. They still have tickets for sale. They got Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry. They got Francis Ngannou, the man who walked away from the UFC with the UFC heavyweight championship belt. They got Ronda and Gina, who to the general public, people simp over them, white knight over them, women look up to them. They're allowed on any podcast that dudes can't even get on. They're allowed on any TV show, any late night show. They can go anywhere. They have a different appeal. And like, I cannot believe that there's still tickets available. That's how, can you guys please make the public care? Please? Please? We want the show to be successful because a rising tide raises all ships. The more money Netflix pays, the more money UFC is going to start to pay. The more money the UFC starts to pay, the more money Netflix has to pay. Then now we have a competitive marketplace. We want the show to succeed. Yell at each other. Get mad. Say, I'm going to knock you out. Somebody say something. Instead of saying you really like her outfit and you want to coordinate and you're trying to color coordinate at the slumber party where you guys are going to braid each other's hair and paint each other's toenails. Nobody wants to... Anyways, guys, I'm a little bit passionate about martial arts and fight promotion. All right, let me read the chat before I go off on a rant right now. Okay. Let me scroll back up. The chat's been popping off. The other fights on the card are better than the main event. Well, there are 3 main events, to be fair, because they want everybody to feel included. So everybody gets to be a main event. Dude, can we just say what it is? If you guys think these women are the biggest draws, then say they're the main event. You could say Francis is the co-main event, and then the featured bout is Mike Perry versus Nate Diaz. I believe they should put a belt on the line. Not the most valuable promotions belt, but like the People's Champion belt. The People's Champ. What if they were fighting for the people's champ? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Because that's what this movement is about, right? It's anti-establishment, it's pro-fighter. They're fighting for the people's belt, the fight the people want, not the fight that the UFC wants to push down people's throats, the fight the people want to see. You know what I mean? Like they can play that narrative up. So I thought this show was going to be bigger than the UFC White House card. Unless something changes tomorrow at the press conference, which I believe there's a press conference tomorrow, right? There better be. Unless something changes, dude, they're cooked. They're really cooked. They're super cooked. I can't even fathom what they're thinking. Why has no one gone and talked to these people? Anyways, apparently Netflix isn't even promoting it from my dude Khamzat right here. He's going on Netflix on the app, looking it up. There's no promotion for it. Things might not be going as good as they could have. And Ronda and Gina, congratulations, you're losing Netflix tens of millions of viewers and tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So you guys can go be besties. Cool. All right. Let me read the chat. Chimaev will unalive Bo in a fight. Man, tell me how you really feel, bro. You don't how though? You don't think Bo Nichols is gonna stuff that shot? Let's talk about Khamzat having cake 6 days before a fight, bro. Dude, you sent me that freaking video, bro. And so that led me to believe that Khamzat doesn't really want to fight like he used to. That he's kind of probably doing it for other reasons. Maybe it's the money, maybe it's his people back home that need him to fight. But 6 days before the fight is wild. Wild. Wow, cake, dude, yeah, especially, yeah. And, some people say, oh, just one slice of cake, it's not going to do anything. But, like, the people I know who have big weight cuts, they don't entertain any of that at all. Like, when you're getting that to that point, one day can mean the difference between, like, making weight or not making weight. You can't take any days off. You got to be on fucking point. Let me read this. So you're saying Diaz, round 4 sub. You said, yeah. So is that your prediction? Diaz, round 4 sub? Dude, I think Diaz can sub him in the first round. I know it sounds crazy. Oh, well, how's he going to get the takedown? Mike Perry's athletic, all that. Like, dude, he could get stuffed. I'm such a believer in Nate Diaz's jiu-jitsu. Dude, it's kind of like this fight that we saw with Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley, where Joaquin Buckley was bragging about not training any grappling, and then he got 10-7'd every round. You know how bad you got to get dominated to get 10-7'd? Dude, come on, bro. Like, I feel like the grappling discrepancy is like that between Mike Perry and Nate Diaz. That personally. But guess what? They're probably going to stand and bang. So here we are. But yeah, maybe in round 4, if Nate can stay conscious, which I have every reason to believe he can, because he's been in there with really good strikers before. So this won't be the first time he's been in there with somebody with power. The thing about Mike is Mike's willing to like take a shot or two to land a shot, Now, will his bare knuckle success translate in 4-ounce gloves? That's kind of the question that I have. Is Mike Perry's going to be able to get in there and land something on Nate? But is it going to resonate the same way with Nate's brain that Mike's fists land and send people like into La La Land when they don't have gloves on them, when he's fighting bare knuckle? And if you guys are wondering about my hands, yeah, so I can't even close this hand. That's from wrestling practice. That's the whole thing. And then this, I can't lift this pinky up past there. That's from hitting things. So this hand, I'm rehabbing this hand right now. But yeah, Mike Perry gets in there, lands the shot. Is Nate going to be able to take the shot from Mike Perry? That's my question about this fight. To me, that's the determining factor. The other determining factor is, will Nate shoot and end up in half guard and either sweep Mike Perry or get to close guard and sub him? And I don't think he's going to do that. So to me, that would be his most clear path to victory. I don't believe he's going to do that. So then the actual question, which should be a secondary question, it is now the primary question, is can Nate withstand Mike Perry's power when Mike Perry has 4-ounce gloves on instead of bare knuckle? Because in bare knuckle, he's a problem. And that little bit of padding might change that. So we're going to see. Let me read the chat. Why isn't this all over Netflix? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why aren't they promoting other fighters who might actually hate each other? Yeah, and so I don't even need them. Like, I get that. Yeah, if they hate each other, now we're cooking. But to me, they don't even need to hate each other. Like, they just need to want to, like, win. And because one person wants to win, the other person wants to win, if they're competitive, then they start like, dude, nah, bro, no, I'm actually going to win. And then you give a fuck. You're like, oh, now I'm curious to see who's going to win. Because they've made it mean something. They're both risking their reputation by speaking out. Now we have pride on the line. Now we have bragging rights on the line. Now we have a competitive landscape. But when it's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with whatever outcome happens. When they asked Gina, when you envision this fight and you envision yourself winning, well, how do you see it happening? And she answers something like, "What? Tune in and see." Did I do good, guys? Like they're literally taking a softball. They're like pointing at it. It's like bright neon yellow, and they're like underhanding pitching it slow. And they're hoping she can like bunt it. And they're like gonna act like they don't know where the ball went, and she can run to first base and run around all the bases. They're literally pitching her an underhand pitch. You know what I'm saying? She can knock it out of the park if she wants. And instead, she just like watches it go by. Like, what? I'm flabbergasted. Anyways, and here's the thing. Could I talk about some other stuff on this live? Could I get more viewers by doing that? Yeah. But like, this is so fucking shocking to me. I'd rather talk about this because I'm very into UFC and I'm very into WWE in a certain era, right? Like in the Attitude Era, and I'm into the NWO portion of the WCW, and then I'm into like the 90s and 80s nostalgia WWF, right? But that's neither here nor there. But I like the fight promotion. I like the buildup. I like to see the angles that I like to know what they're thinking. I like to know why they're fighting. I like to know why I should tune in. Make me care. And right now, I didn't think it was possible to care less. They're making me care less. The only person I want Mike Perry to win. Because he's the only one that's giving me a reason to watch him. How many Nate Diaz fights am I gonna watch where Nate's like, oh man, I'm not gonna tell you guys what I plan on doing, man. But yeah, man. Um you turn your mic on. They're like, hey Nate, man, make sure your mic's on. And he's like, you turn your mic on. You turn your mic on. Like, we got happy Nate. Dude, I want him to throw a water bottle at Mike Perry. I want Mike Perry to try and rush him. I want Mike Perry to call him the M word because he's 3% black and he's allowed to do that. Like let's get weird up there. Let's fight for the belt. TMF. Thuggest motherfucker belt. You know what I mean? Like real like RFB, real thug belt or something like anything. Do anything. I'm literally just freestyling ideas, right? Real thug belt. TB, real thug belt. This is the real thug belt. Because thugs don't back down. So if he takes a step back, he's not a real thug. And the other guy goes, dude, I'm not taking a step back. You will. And then we have like a subplot. Not only who's going to win the fight, but who's going to take the first step backwards. And the fucking real thug belt is on the line. You're like something like that. Like, instead of like, oh man, we're doing big things, we're on a big platform, we don't really need to talk about it to sell it. People want to tune in and watch. Because like, dude, the reason people tuned in and watched is because of all the pre-fight buildup, all the antics, all the middle fingers, all the Stockton slaps in the cage, all the getting on the mic and calling out Connors, all the press conferences with the water bottles, all that. If you take all that away, those are all the reasons people are tuning in. Will they give you like a pass and maybe watch? Maybe this once. But if the fight is lackluster and there's no intensity, there's no emotional investment, and if you guys are both cool with like being on a platform and being businessmen and, trying to find opportunities and venture out, like, dude, that's not even relatable, bro. Everybody can relate to like, hey, I'm going to beat this fool's ass and he's going to try and beat my ass and he's wrong. I'm going to beat him up. Like, what on earth are they thinking? Anyway, let me read the chat. What the actual, so yeah, I don't care. Yeah, that's how I feel. What the actual fuck? And when I say they gotta sell it, I don't even mean like sell it in a fake way. I mean like take fucking half a second, say, hey, what's the most authentic thing I could say right now about this person or about my abilities that would get the viewer who's on the fence excited to watch, let alone share the video with a friend who's not even interested and get that person interested, right? I, off the top of your head, hey, bro, if you're Mike Perry, I know you think I'm a bare knuckle fighter and you could submit me. I'm going to bounce your head off the floor. I'm going to end your career. I'm going to take your Jake Paul fight that you're trying to build up to. I'm going to fight him in MMA. And then, because I'm a huge star, they're going to re-sign me to the UFC and I'm going to take your Conor fight too, bro. That's what I'm going to do. He could say that. Nate could go, hey, Mike, you're here to get beat up so that me and Jake Paul can book an MMA fight. Know your role. Shut your mouth. No, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, say, like, that's kind of what this is. This is the buildup for Nate versus Jake. Why not say that? That would be offensive to Mike Perry. Mike Perry could then say, it's not going down like that. Nate, I'm going to knock you out and I'm going to take that fight from you. Now we have something called stakes. Now there's risk. Now the stakes are on the line. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we've added stakes into it. What is being risked? Consciousness, reputation, these future fights. These are all stakes on the line now. And now there's a reason to care. That was 30 seconds. That was 30 seconds. Like what? Anyway, I'm gonna read the chat. All right. I don't care about their fights, and I've been a Diaz Brothers fan since day one. The other fighters have fired because they have a point to prove. Yeah, to promote them. They got 2 division KSW champion who's best lightweight from Europe. I told you yesterday, hey man, fuck that KSW champ. He's fighting my friend, Kenny Cross. Cross the boss is gonna upset him, bro. Cross the boss is gonna upset that man, bro. Let's fucking go, Kenny. I told you yesterday, Jake and Nikisa don't know that much about MMA. Not beef, but they will say, I'll knock him out. I'm the best. Like Jason Jackson, who's a beast. I haven't even bothered to watch the pre-fight BS. I heard what it's like, and that was enough for me. Yeah, my buddy owns Fight Circus. I was telling him about it. I was like, bro, it's bad. It's really bad. Right? Like, at least when Fight Circus, which is a fucking literal clown show, they have fucking clowns and they're a show. At least when they had Felony Charles Bennett fight YouTuber death sentence, there was a narrative of like, is the fight going to be real? Are they really going to let Felony fight death sentence? And then in the pre-fight hype, it was like Felony's trying to get a win because he's on a 26 fight losing streak or something. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, if he loses the death sentence, he's cooked. And people were like, there's no way they're going to let this fight happen because some people believe in Felony and they know about Felony. And other people are like, dude, he's on a 25 fight losing streak, whatever. Like, he might lose. And now people are invested. And that's a fucking insane fight. Like, that, like, shouldn't probably take place. It's not the pinnacle of mixed martial arts on Netflix. You get what I'm saying? It's a death sentence fight. Like the YouTuber who's fighting in street beefs is gonna fight Felony. You get like, and even then it was like, dude, if Felony loses the death sentence, like, so there's something on the line. You get it? Like, it's crazy. Anyway, told you, yeah. No beef. I haven't even bothered. I gotta sleep now. Keep a great work. I support you. Hey man, brother, appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on the chat. Yeah, it's getting late. That's why caffeine at night is important, guys. Okay. I'm probably 700 milligrams of caffeine deep right now. It's almost midnight my time. And so Mike Perry has a lot to lose because if he beats Nate, now he's the guy. He's the guy for the Jake Paul MMA fight. He's the guy for Conor rematch. He could potentially fight Conor in bare knuckle if Conor could get out of a contract or get a clause, or, you know, maybe UFC invests in bare knuckle or what. Like, there's ways to negotiate the landscape now. That's on the line. Why not say that in every interview? Yo, I like Nate Diaz, but I'm here to beat him up. Because he's getting all these opportunities and I want to win. Like, I want to get rich. I want the big fights. I want to fight these name guys. And I got to knock this dude out to get that. So I'm going to knock him out. And if he doesn't like it, he doesn't have to like it. And if he wants to be mad at me, he can be mad at me. And if he doesn't want to be friends with me, well, we're not friends anyways. I'm here to do a job. And my job is to knock him unconscious. And I'm going to do that this weekend. Say that. Anyways, pulling Nate on Nate. I like it. Yeah, exactly, right? Nate gave him the fucking playbook. Run with it. He already showed you how to get a Conor fight. Hey, you took everything I worked for, motherfucker. Right? Well, remix that and spit it back to Nate. Hey, Nate, you're trying to get these big fights I want. I'm going to KO you and take them from you, bro. Try and stop me. Fight hard. Make it entertaining. Get more eyeballs on it. Because when I knock you out, I'm getting more famous, bro. Or quit now and just let me get the fights. Just walk away, bro. Walk away. Walk away. Oh, you're going to try and fight me? Dude, then you're getting knocked out and embarrassed in front of everybody. And you're not going to get any of these big fights. And you're going to go back. Like, he could say that. I'm going to send him back to Stockton to go live in a trailer park or wherever he comes from. He could say that. Anyways, you guys got me fired up. Make sure you got notifications on because I go live at random times. Make sure you get a Real One t-shirt. The link is in the bio. Make sure you send your coach to StudioMillions.com. Studio Millions. We'll get them right. I love you guys. Have a good night.